Hello and welcome back, and today we're going to be doing a customer prediction exercise in which we are going to use both Python and RStudio to analyze our data. And so we actually have our data right here. It is called data CSV, which is located in our 210 folder. So this is the data that we're trying to bring in. So as I stated in one of the earlier videos, which I will link in the description below, you need to be able to install a number of the following items. I will put those right there. You need to be able to install NumPy, not capitalized, pandas, and matplotlib.pyplot. So you need to be able to install all three of those. I have already done that, and I've gone over how to do that as well. And as I said, I will leave that in the link below. So what we're going to do first is we are going to begin with our first step, which is install/import our needed libraries. Another step that we have to do is, because we are looking at examining a very specific form of data, we need to set up our working directory. And then we need to begin our data cleaning and prep, which I will get to after we complete our first two. So, first thing we're going to have to do is we are going to have to start importing our libraries that we need. So we need NumPy, and we will assign it a variable as np. Import pandas as pd, and import matplotlib.pyplot as plt. And so that's the start right there. So our next step, because as I said, we want to be bringing this data into our Python system, we need to set up a working directory. So we are going to import the operating system module, which this calls upon our OS to set our working directory. And we're going to create a path for that. And this will lead directly to this file. So I actually have that on my other window. We're going to grab that real quick. We're going to drop this in. So there is our working directory right there. And then what we're going to do, we are going to designate our working directory's path with the os.chdir. We are going to assign it that. So we've assigned it. And then our final step to ultimately test this will be to assign a variable to dataset, which will actually be this file right here. Now, with all programming, it is important that you remain syntax specific and syntax accurate, because if you do not, you will not be able to import this. So I have a capital D in front of it, so it is data.csv. That will bring that, and I can actually test this by calling on it with the print. I'm going to label this dataset, new line, new line. So that will actually allow us to see this. We're going to quickly Control S. We're going to save it. And now we're going to run the module. So as you can see, our data set is right here. So now we need to begin cleaning and preparing our data. So what that is we are going to assign variables to our columns. And then we're going to test if these columns have sorted appropriately. So we're going to begin. We need two variables. We need our x and we need our y. So our x equals dataset .iloc. We're going to be using brackets for this. Colon, comma, colon, -1. That closes that. Dot values. And for our next one, we're going to be doing the same thing. ILOC. So this one's going to be a little different. Colon, comma, 3. Because this is in reference to our third column. And we want it to just print only the values. So I have the print command that I want set up. I'm going to just drop it in here so that it's a little faster. So as you can see, I gave each of these a title, and I also spaced these out with a new line. So at the end of every time these print, we get a new line. So we're going to quickly save that. Nope, I forgot to close this. That's my bad. That's why it's important to maintain your syntax. And there you are. We now see the information based on the country, the age, and the salary, and then the values of if they purchased or did not. Now we are going to transfer that over, and we're going to actually do this in RStudio. So we just have to open up RStudio, just right here. That is our account. There we go. There is RStudio. So we're waking this up. So I already tested a lot of this prior, but we can go over how to do this. So we're going to create a new script so that we can go over this step by step. So our first step if not installed, we need to set up the reticulate package. And what the reticulate package does is that it allows us to build a Python interface into RStudio. And those commands would look like this. Install packages, reticulate. Then we would be calling upon that library, which I already have it installed, so it already exists for us. So we're just going to build our code first. The other thing we need to also make sure is that our working directory is set up the same as we did in Python. So we're going to move quickly through that, and there. That is all set up. You always want to make sure that your working directory is set. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually set this as our current working directory. Just like that, with the more option. We can also do that in our script here, which I will also show. So it depends, but sometimes I had trouble with this. You need to install your systems prior. So we would be calling on py install numpy, numpy, py install, and we do this for each of them. Pandas. One moment. And then our last one is py underscore install our longest one, which is matplotlib.py plot. And then we're going to assign these. So our next step here is to import these into the RStudio environment. What that code looks like, it'll look very similar to what we did with our Python, which np, pd, and plt. You don't really want to change or alter how your naming system very much, because that can lead to confusion. Simplicity helps in this instance, so we're going to import each of these. And there we are. And then if we wanted to write it in our script, set working directory, I can show you very quickly how to do that. We would call upon it with set wd, and then because I already did it manually, but you still can do it, you would set it up so that it would go like this. And then our next step would be to assign our data set, which is the data.csv. We want to assign it to our variable. So what we would do is data set equals read.csv data.csv. That should get us all set up. So what we're going to do is my packages should be good, so we can check. So reticulate does exist. Alright, now we installed it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these three. We're going to run them. Make sure that everything is installing. So it's telling me that all of these are already installed, with the exception of matplot, which it is currently doing. Our next step will be to run these, and it'll run each of these in time. So as you can see, it's working through all of these, which are right here. We've already set our working directory, so we don't need to do that, but we do need to bring our data set in. So we're going to hit this, and our data set has been assigned, and we can actually view our data set, just like that. And so that is the first step in this exercise. Stay tuned for part 2, and we will go over how to further manipulate our data to start filling in blank holes, such as we see in Spain and in Germany, with salary and age. and I hope you appreciate this tutorial. Thank you.